Hello, I'm Arwoltus, and today I would like to announce that I have finished the writing process of my new book, A Manifesto for American Conservatives. Of course, my name, C.A. Brill, on here. This isn't the cover. This is the front page. I haven't gotten to the publishing stage yet, but this is what I've been doing for the past few months, and a lot of thinking, a lot of work went into this. I've got a bunch of different references to many of America's founding fathers, to various other persons, but I'll just go here and let's talk about some things. So I'll read the introduction. So this here is what I will be sending out to various individuals to discuss. So this version is for media analysis purposes only. Do not publish or redistribute without the permission of the author. I do intend to going to my publisher eventually and putting this out so that uh, it can be sold. Of course, that will be after I can perhaps get some media publicity on it. So I'll just read the introduction. I won't get into the main body of the work. So here we go. Introduction. In recent times, there has been confusion about the nature and goals of conservatism and its role in American society. This manifesto is written to define conservatism for Americans, to help those who are conservatives find a consistent ideological standard, to explain its benefits to those who are not conservatives, to distinguish conservatism from other ideologies, to expose inconsistent or false conservatives and encourage them to correct their conduct, to encourage conservatives who have lost hope, to address issues that are important to America, to set an example for conservatives in other countries, and to provide an insight into conservative thought. Therefore, American conservatism is discussed in 12 chapters with some final comments by the author, which is yours truly here. The discussion is not only rooted in the author's analysis, but also in quotations of the founding fathers and of relevant historians, philosophers, and statesmen from throughout history to give a broader understanding of conservatism and the topics of discussion. So I use a wide variety of sources, of course, the founding fathers, but also Montesquieu, Marcus Aurelius, Confucius, Han Fei, Thomas Hobbes, Machiavelli, a wide variety of references. Uh, of course, I use a lot of my own reasoning as well to really put the theory together and to explain a lot of details. The purpose of this work is not to function as an exhaustive list of conservative policies. Therefore, it is not expected that every conservative would agree with each point that is made, but that the manifesto will provide an example of genuine conservative thought that is useful for discussions among conservatives both in America and around the world. Indeed, a more holistic perspective on conservatism is sorely lacking in the American political sphere, which is why this type of discussion is so important. It is the author's hope that this work will encourage American conservatives in the love which they share for their country and countrymen and the vigor with which they uphold virtue, order, and prosperity, which are going to be central themes here as the things that conservatives seek to conserve: virtue, order, and prosperity. And of course, that is explored throughout the book. And table of contents. This is the last thing I'll show you. Of course, I begin with the first chapter, and there's 12 chapters, followed by some personal notes, which go quite a bit because each chapter has its own notes in which I take a less formal approach. on the topic of the chapter and explain some things that might not be the best to explain in the flow of the text as it happens in the chapter. So I get into a little bit more of the detail and I express some more personal opinions that I perhaps wouldn't want to express as a general conservative view in these personal notes. And of course, the reference list at the end. So as you may see, with these additional pages at the front, it's about 150 pages. So there's a lot of stuff in here. So it's typically, I'd say, quite a bit longer than a lot of political manifestos, especially if you compare, let's say, the Communist Manifesto, which only has a couple of chapters, and if you were to compare the Fascist Manifesto, which is just a list of policies. I've really tried to get beyond the idea of just listing policies and going into questions on what is this in theory and how does this work. So you could say that each chapter is a little essay on its own, looking into a particular topic and how that topic relates to conservatism and how conservatives would apply ideas on that topic. So thank you all for watching, and I would like to ask in the comments section below if anyone is interested in discussing this, or perhaps you might have a connection to someone in the media that might be interested in reading this book and perhaps doing a show on it. I would be very happy to hear about that, and perhaps it is something that can be arranged, as I do certainly believe that this is a discussion that is worth having. Now, some people might ask, well, what about Koinonism? I still think that the specific Koinonist policy approaches are pretty good. I'm not abandoning Koinonism. What I'm doing here is laying the groundwork for conservatism, which I think is compatible with Koinonism. And I think that in America and in other countries, people too often think of conservatism as just wanting to keep things the way they are or returning to some past state, rather than a more systematic approach that allows you to understand what it is that policies are doing in relation to the things that you're actually trying to conserve, which is something that is very important in my opinion. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will be seeing you all next time on Wiltos Over and Out.